Alexander Graham Bell was one of the primary inventors of the telephone. Who was Alexander Graham Bell? Alexander Graham Bell was born on March 3, 1847, was a Scottish-born British-Canadian-American teacher, scientist, and inventor. He was the founder of the Bell Telephone Company. In 1876, Bell was the first inventor to patent the telephone, and he helped start the Bell Telephone Company with others in July 1877. In 1879, this company joined with the New England Telephone Company to form the National Bell Telephone Company. In 1880, they formed the American Bell Telephone Company, and in 1885, American Telephone and Telegraph Company, AT&T, still a large company today. Along with Thomas Edison, Bell formed the Oriental Telephone Company on January 25, 1881. Alexander Graham Bell was born in Edinburgh, Scotland. His family was known for teaching people how to speak English clearly, elocution. Both his grandfather, Alexander Bell, and his father, Alexander Melville Bell, taught elocution. His father wrote often about this and is most known for his invention and writings of visible speech. In his writings, he explained ways of teaching people who were deaf and mute. It also showed how these people could learn to speak words by watching their lips and reading what other people were saying. Alexander Graham Bell went to the Royal High School of Edinburgh. He graduated at the age of 15. At the age of 16, he got a job as a student and teacher of elocution and music in Weston House Academy, at Elgin in Morayshire. He spent the next year at the University of Edinburgh. While still in Scotland, he became more interested in the science of sound, acoustics. He hoped to help his deaf mother. From 1866 to 1867, he was a teacher at Somersetshire College in Bath, Somerset. His past experience made him ready to work more with sound and electricity. He began his studies in 1874 with a musical telegraph, in which he used an electric circuit and a magnet to make an iron reed or tongue vibrate. One day, it was found that a reed failed to respond to the current. Mr. Bell desired his assistant, who was at the other end of the line, to pluck the reed, thinking it had stuck to the magnet. His assistant, Thomas Watson, complied, and to his surprise, Bell heard the corresponding reed at his end of the line vibrate and sound the same, without any electric current to power it. A few experiments soon showed that his reed had been set in vibration by the changes in the magnetic field that the moving reed produced in the line. This discovery led him to stop using the electric battery current. His idea was that, since the circuit was never broken, all the complex vibrations of speech might be converted into currents, which in turn would reproduce the speech at a distance. Bell, with his assistant, devised a receiver, consisting of a stretched film or drum with a bit of magnetized iron attached to its middle, and free to vibrate in front of the pole of an electromagnet in circuit with the line. This apparatus was completed on June 2, 1875. On July 7, he instructed his assistant to make a second receiver which could be used with the first, and a few days later they were tried together, at each end of the line, which ran from a room in the inventor's house at Boston to the cellar underneath. Bell, in the room, held one instrument in his hands, while Watson in the cellar listened at the other. The inventor spoke into his instrument, "Do you understand what I say?" And Mr. Watson rushed back into the upstairs and answered, "Yes." The first successful two-way telephone call was not made until March 10, 1876, when Bell spoke into his device, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you," and Watson answered back and came into the room to see Bell. The first long-distance telephone call was made on August 10, 1876 by Bell from the family home in Brantford, Ontario to his assistant in Paris, Ontario, some 16 kilometers away. On March 7, 1876, the U.S. Patent Office gave him patent for the telephone. Bell married Mabel Hubbard on July 11, 1877, and they had 4 children. He died of problems caused by anemia and diabetes at his home near Baddeck, Nova Scotia in 1922. He was 75 years old. Apart from telecommunications, Bell also plays an important role in aviation and hydrofoil technology. It then became Bell as a scientist who he admired and often used as an inspiration. Both his works and wise words that can inspire. The following is the motivation of Alexander Graham Bell. When one door closes, another opens wide. But often we stare at the closed door so long and so sadly that we don't realize that another door is wide open for us. The only difference between success and failure is the ability to take action. Nights are a quieter time to work. It helps with thinking. You can't force ideas. Successful ideas are the result of slow growth. Concentrate your mind on something you're doing because the sun also can't burn until it's focused. Before anything else, preparation is the key to success. Educate the people, raise their standard of intelligence, and you will surely have a successful nation. I'm going to put in your mind the fact that if you want to do justice to a man, you have to believe what the man himself says rather than what people say. Those are some motivational words from Alexander Graham Bell. Don't forget to subscribe and like. See you in another biography discussion. If there are words in the writing, please forgive me. See you next time.